Surviving for 100 years in the unforgiving landscape of Alaska is no easy feat, and the historic Anchorage Hotel knows this all too well. The building stands as a testament to strength and resilience, having weathered through the treacherous 1964 Good Friday earthquake. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with that, this catastrophic event struck at 5:36 p.m. Alaskan time on March 26th, 1964. Lasting 4 minutes and 38 seconds, it unleashed a magnitude of 9.2 on the Richter scale, making it the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in North America and the second most powerful earthquake in the world since modern seismography began. Over 130 lives were lost as ground fissures, collapsing structures, and just imminent chaos ravaged South Central Alaska. The sheer force of this quake caused up to 60 feet of movement along 600 miles of fault lines, finally breaking free after over 500 years of stress buildup. The very ground beneath their feet turned against the people of Alaska, causing soil liquefaction, landslides, and ground failures that left many communities devastated. In Anchorage, where this hotel stood proud and tall, the damage was immense. Homes and buildings and infrastructure that weren't really built to withstand earthquakes crumbled under Mother Nature's wrath, as you could imagine. Paved streets, sidewalks, water and sewer mains, electrical systems, all of them rendered useless. Even the land itself shifted dramatically in certain areas. Near Kodiak, some places were permanently raised by 30 feet, while others dropped as much as 8. But amidst the destruction and chaos, there were signs of hope. The head engineer of the Hotel Anchorage had taken great care in preparing for such an event, and as a result, the building remained standing strong. It was a symbol of perseverance for all those who had suffered in the wake of the earthquake, a reminder that even in the face of disaster, there's always a glimmer of hope. In the depths of the Prince William Sound, a violent and sudden underwater landslide shook the ocean floor. Its force rippled up to the surface, causing massive destruction in the surrounding areas. In Port Valdez, 32 lives were lost as the city's harbor and docks crumbled under the powerful rumbling. A ship that was docked there at its time was engulfed in flames, chaos, and tragedy. Now, further down the coast, the small village of Chiniga, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was hit by a towering 27-foot tsunami. Of the 68 people who were living there at the time, 23 perished in the destructive wave. Those who survived scrambled to higher grounds, their hearts pounding in fear and disbelief of what just happened. The impact of this earthquake was felt far beyond Alaska's borders. Post-quake tsunamis wreaked havoc on other Alaskan communities, such as Whittier and Kodiak, as well as reaching further south to British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and even California. Hawaii and Japan even felt the repercussions of this disaster. Now, as if jolted awake by the quake, evidence of movement could even be seen on the opposite ends of the country, in Florida and even in Texas. No one truly was spared from feeling the effects of this catastrophic event. After that day, the real creepiness began to unfurl in the Anchorage Hotel. Steeped in a rich history of eerie encounters already, it now keeps a log at the front desk to document all of the paranormal activities that occur within its walls. Now, despite the potential for a nightmare-inducing stay, one can't help but fall in love with the incredible staff and vintage decor that give this haunted Anchorage Hotel its undeniable charm. Surviving through the turbulent events, this historic hotel in downtown Anchorage stands as a testament to resilience of the community there. Within its corridors lie countless tales of restless spirits, their presence still felt by those who dare to stay. With over a century of service, it's no surprise that this establishment has faced its fair share of trials and tribulations. From surviving one of the most devastating earthquakes in North American history, to acquiring a menagerie of creepy ghosts that haunt both staff and guests alike, this hotel is truly a survivor in every sense of the word. Proudly standing since 1916, and despite the devastation of the earthquake, Anchorage Hotel remained unscathed. Its historic charm draws visitors far and wide, and they are also greeted by ghosts who have haunted this building for over a century. The hotel, which is now listed on the National Register of Historic Places, is the only one of its kind in Alaska's largest city. Some believe that these spirits, dating back to the gold rush days, have never left and continue to roam the halls at all hours of the day and night. Now, as the hotel celebrated its 100th anniversary back in 2016, it remains a diamond in the rough, and it's a must-see for anyone who is seeking a taste of history and even maybe perhaps a glimpse at the paranormal. In 1916, the downtown Anchorage Hotel was first opened by its owner, Frank Reed. Now, at that time, it was known as the Hotel Anchorage, and quickly became a hub for travelers and locals alike. Over the years, countless guests have passed through the doors, each with their own unique stories to tell. One of these stories involves the hotel's original owner, Frank Reed, and his young son. It is said that Frank's son would often accompany him to the Alaskan Railroad terminal during the day to help him pick up luggage for the guests arriving at the hotel. He would help carry the bags back to the hotel and greet guests with a warm smile. Tragically, in 1925, Frank's son passed away at a young age. Some believe that his spirit still lingers within the hotel to this day. Over the years, guests and staff have reported seeing a young boy dressed in old-fashioned clothing roaming around the hotel lobby and hallways. He is said to be a friendly spirit who enjoys playing harmless pranks on unsuspecting visitors. But he's not alone in haunting this historic establishment. Two other ghosts are known to frequent the downtown Anchorage Hotel: a woman dressed in Victorian-era clothing and an older man with a long beard who is often seen at a table in one of the hotel's restaurants. The woman is believed to be Bertha Mowry, one of Anchorage's early residents who lived near where the hotel now stands. She was fondly remembered by locals as a kind and generous woman who regularly visited her husband's grave. Guests have reported seeing her ghostly figure walking through walls and standing in front of them before suddenly disappearing. The older man is believed to be a man named Harry Scoville, another prominent figure from Anchorage's early days. He owned several businesses in town and had strong connections to both Bertha Mowry and Frank Reed. His ghost has been seen sitting at the table in the hotel restaurant. Now, as the years went on, the downtown Anchorage Hotel continued to thrive, attracting more and more guests from all over the world, but with its history also came darker tales of tragedy and death. One such story involves the hotel's first chief of police, John J. Blackjack Sturgis. He was a respected and feared law enforcement officer during the Prohibition era in Anchorage. His life was cut short when he was shot with his own gun in the alleyway behind the hotel. Now, according to legend, Sturgis had been investigating illegal activities at the nearby speakeasy when he discovered that one of his own officers was involved. The corrupt officer turned on him, shooting him in the back before fleeing the scene. Sturgis managed to make it back to the hotel for help, but ultimately succumbed to his injuries. Since then, numerous sightings of Sturgis's ghosts have been both reported by guests and staff alike at the downtown Anchorage. He's often seen walking through the hallways, seemingly still patrolling for any criminal activity. The ghost of a bride has also been sighted by many visitors over the years. Legend has it that she was staying at the hotel on her wedding night when tragedy struck. Now, there are some conflicting reports about how she died. One is that she fell down an elevator shaft, which is kind of similar to the hotel in Alabama I talked about. So I wonder if that's I wonder if that's something much like the Lady in White that we see places. I wonder if that's I wonder if that's going to be a reoccurring process that we'll see as I go down these local haunts and these ghost tour haunts. I wonder if that's could it be a coincidence or could it be a shared story that a lot of these ghost haunt places kind of concoct in order to bring a little bit more intrigue into their stories? Again, when it comes to folklore and ghost stories, a lot of this is passed down. So a lot of them have the tendency to maybe mix and mingle with each other. That's something that, we're going to see as this ghost tour throughout the states kind of progresses. Her spirit is said to be restless and often appear as a tall, thin silhouette in dark hallways or mirrors throughout the hotel. Some guests have even reported feeling as though someone is watching them, or their hair being gently tugged while staying in certain rooms. Now, despite these paranormal occurrences, many guests continue to stay at the downtown Anchorage. It has its unique charm and historical significance, so, it's a hotspot. Now, whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying that this place holds a special place in Anchorage's history and continues to be a favorite among travelers looking for a touch of the supernatural. Now, as the years passed and more guests at the downtown Anchorage began to report sightings of ghosts, some were skeptical, but others couldn't deny the eerie feeling they got while staying there. One particular active area seems to be rooms on the second floor, most notably rooms 215, 217, 202, and 205. Guests staying in these rooms would often be woken up in the middle of the night to find a figure standing at the foot of their bed or sitting in a chair across from the room. Others report the feeling of cold spots or hearing strange noises coming from these rooms. Now, like I said at the beginning, the hotel even has a logbook at the front desk where staff would document these sightings. It quickly became known as the Ghost Book among guests and was a popular conversation topic during breakfast in the hotel's restaurant. But it wasn't just guests who were experiencing paranormal activity at the downtown Anchorage Hotel. Employees also had their fair share of encounters with spirits. One housekeeper reported seeing a woman in a white dress standing on one of the hotel's hallways, only for her to disappear when she blinked. Another staff member claimed to have seen a man sitting in one of the lobby chairs late at night, even though no guests were around. Now, despite all of these reports, many guests still chose to stay at the downtown Anchorage Hotel for its unique charm and affordable rates. But some couldn't shake off the fears that they may encounter one of these spirits during their stay. Listen, I don't care how cheap the hotel is. This guy ain't going. But I'm probably going to eat those words in the near future. Spoilers. For those of you who are too afraid to stay overnight, there are plenty of other ways to experience the ghostly hotel's history. Please do tell Chris. The downtown walking tour included stops at several haunted locations, and it includes this hotel. There are even some brave souls who sign up for the overnight ghost hunt tours, organized by local paranormal teams. They would spend hours walking through dark hallways and abandoned rooms with EMF detectors and voice recorders, hoping to capture evidence of spirits lingering in the hotel. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying that the downtown Anchorage Hotel has an undeniable legacy and has a haunting hold on Anchorage and all of Alaska. So, this season, if you find yourself in the mood for something a little spooky and you're in the Anchorage area, look up a ghost tour and go pay a visit. You never know. You might run into Chris, because I'm going places. So nervous. Hey, folks. Like I said last week, the show is going to be, we're in a little bit of an evolution. We're trying out some new things. I'm trying out some new things, and I think, so going forward from now on, this is sort of going to be what you're going to see. It's going to be a little bit of visual, and I'm going to be sharing some images, and I'm also going to be having conversations. And I'm bringing my wife back. So she's going to be joining me in the second half of this episode. And a lot of you guys commented on how much you enjoyed the folklore firesides between me and her. So I said, why not just make it like a full-time thing where she joins me on this show all the time and we can have some, fun conversations. And, right now we're just doing them pre-recorded. When we were doing the folklore firesides, they were live. Eventually, I'd like to get to live again, at least once a week, and do a pre-recorded the other day, or well, I don't know, I'll figure it out. But for right now, we're going to do pre-recorded, just live episodes. Well, no, Chris. No, you're not doing pre-recorded live episodes. Yeah, so we're going to go into more like a pre-recorded video format. And so I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you all for the reviews. And please leave some comments on Spotify or send a review on Apple. Let me know what you think of this format. And yes, so we're going to keep going, and I will bring in old Mrs. Haunted Megan's coming to the show when we come back later. So I covered the Anchorage Hotel, but Anchorage, Alaska has a lot of other spooky legends that have taken place and ghost stories and things like that. Now, you've been to Alaska.
I have. I visited Fairbanks. It's in the middle of the state. So
Nowhere near Anchorage.
Nowhere near Anchorage. And if you have any idea the actual size of Alaska, it's not easy to get from city to city. But this is actually I don't know much about the Anchorage Hotel or anything, so I'm excited to get into this. But yeah, no, I visited Fairbanks.
Well, too bad. I finished everything about the Anchorage Hotel already.
Oh, so good. So it's fine. I don't need to know anything.
No, well, there's a lot of there's certain things that have been coming up when you talk about haunted hotels, and there's a lot of familiar and common ghost stories that take place. And as I've been going down this road of visiting state by state, and now like this whole thing of going on ghost tours, places that offer tours and that you can actually visit, I'm finding, I don't want to give any spoilers because I'm a couple of episodes ahead in recording wise from when we do the live thing. I kind of do my bit first and stockpile them, and then we jump on together. But I'm finding that a lot of these ghost tour places that offer these tours are essentially telling the same story. So, as folklore goes, it's word of mouth, it's passed down. You can't help but wonder if everyone's just selling everybody the same bill of goods in different states and just crossing their fingers that no one puts them together.
See, here you are. You're just exposing everybody.
I don't know. I mean, they all have a lady in white. They all have a bride that was in these hotels. And for some reason, I'm 3 for 3 right now. They all have, and you'll see going forward. Like, I'm in Alaska right now. I did Alabama last week, and Alaska too has somebody who fell down an elevator shaft. And spoilers,
fell down.
Maybe was thrown down. But I mean, okay, it happened in Alabama. All right, it happened in Alaska. It happened in Arizona too. You'll see as we go forward, as I progress through the states. There's a lot of common stuff that take place in these hotels. So, I mean, I've said it before that I'm a bit of a skeptic, and I'm also a bit scared. So, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of making me a bigger skeptic. And, I want to believe. I do. I want to believe that a lot of these things are true. But
you know what? You got to think, I guess, things like that, not that they're common, but it's not an uncommon thing to hear. But I guess it goes back to your point that it's like, are these certain themes that are passed down and it's all just a lie? But,
I mean, is everyone falling down elevator shafts? Like, I mean,
I know. I can believe that there are bride ghosts, though, everywhere, mad at their
well, that's a very common theme. Why do they have to be mad at their husbands?
Why else would they be dead brides? They have some unfinished business. Not that we're mad at each other.
What's happening right now? Is there something that we're going to do on this show?
Not only are we exposing the common themes in ghost stories,
we're exposing our failure of a marriage.
I mean, that's pretty fun. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's Haunted American. Chris is in trouble.
Or Haunted Kiss, as your name tag says on your screen right now.
Oh my God, it says Haunted Kiss. We're going to shut that. Am I really that? Something's really wrong here. How do I fix that? You know how I fix it? See you later. Why did it say that? I'm leaving it. I can't spell my name. You see, guys? Do you see what's wrong? It said
Maybe we don't
haunted.
we
No,
don't
I'm
post
leaving
the
it.
video.
I'm staying. That's staying video. You'll all see. That
Oh,
was
and you'll see
100%.
me.
That was 100% just a mistake. That I just didn't spell my name correctly. I'm 41 years old. You understand? Let's
Oh my
visit
god.
let's go down, and this is another common thing. This is amazing. Uh
I can't stop.
there's a haunted mining camp, which is another pretty common thing around. Well, I guess where mining camps would be. I mean, Alaska would probably have mining camps.
Probably.
It's the Kennecott copper mine. I think that's how you say it. And
Sure.
it's in McCarthy, which is somewhere near Anchorage. It's probably nowhere near Anchorage. It's probably guaranteed it's not anywhere
Do you want
in
me
the
to
vicinity.
check? What is it called
I
again?
I don't, because someone's gonna yell at me. It's McCarthy,
McCarthy.
Alaska. Is it anywhere? Just please, just if it's in range.
Um,
But they offer a ghost tour.
and I mean,
It's far. Just say it.
it's
Say Chiss.
pro-
It's very far away.
just McCarthy is more on the border, closer to the border of Canada.
Oh, so it's nowhere near Anchorage. Anchorage is like coastal.
Anchorage is coastal.
Yeah, so it's nowhere. It's on the complete opposite side of the country, the state,
Well,
the country. I believe that's
well,
what's
no, I
happening.
mean, Anchorage is in the middle. So
Is it?
no, not in the middle of the state. It's coastal, but it's
Well,
kind of
right. It's in the center, right? Yeah, no.
center, so it's not completely on the.
You know
I'm
how
gonna.
you just said how big Alaska is.
It is, but I'm
So
actually
if it's on the Canada border, that's the other side of the ocean.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm in Google Maps. Okay, so it's a 6.5 hour drive
Oh, down the block. Don't worry about it. That's good.
down the
That's
block.
in the same region. Well, they're
Yeah.
haunted. The Anchorage High School. Anchorage High School.
Oh no.
High school ghost. Pretty spooky. But it's a lady.
Not only are they ghosts, they're probably just mean teasing ghosts too.
Yeah, they would give me a
Get
purple
it? 'Cause
nurples.
it's a high
Probably.
school.
It's a high school.
Yeah. Let's
I
just
like
try
it.
to be like a little funny.
Yeah, a little bit. Try harder. It's a lady in white ghost
At the school?
at the school, which doesn't make much sense to me.
Hmm.
But lady in white doesn't necessarily mean it's a bride. Lady in white could be just someone who's wearing just like a white shirt during their death. So, but it's on the South
I like
Bluff.
brides better.
Yeah, they're more fun. It's on the South Bluff overlooking the Westchester Lagoon. And it is said that there's a lady in white who haunts the halls of the old auditorium at West Anchorage High School. Over the years, she's been spotted multiple times in the dark audience seats and behind the scenes after the curtains are pulled. So anytime they put on any kind of show or have some sort of assembly, someone sees the lady in white either in the audience or behind the stage, but they really don't have too much information about her and how she got there or what she's doing or what she wants. Most of these ghosts really don't want much. Just to scare the bejesus out of me is basically the only thing they're looking for.
That's gonna happen if you ever visit these places. You're gonna be so scared.
I know I am.
You jump at movies when we watch together and you look at me.
Come on.
And you're like, that didn't scare you?
What are you doing right now?
I was like, no.
Why are you doing this? Why you gotta
because just like exposing themes, I now need to expose that you are a scaredy cat.
Well, I've said that no one's surprised by this.
No. Well, I'm confirming it.
Yeah. Look up more ghosts in Anchorage.
I don't remember. I don't think we.
Did you look up any, like, when you were in Alaska? Did you check out any kind of?
I went to like an ice museum. And,
did you go to like Dodo's house? Where'd you go? Santa Claus's house?
Yeah, the real North Pole. I met real Santa and the real reindeer. So me and Santa were friends, and little ice museum. That was fun. A lot of ice sculptures and stuff.
An ice museum in Alaska. That's pretty on brand.
It was very on brand. In the tiny town of Fairbanks, and there's just nothing there. There was one really cute coffee shop, and they are very big, I guess, because it's cold a lot of the time. Those drive-through coffee places, like it's literally just a stand, and either side of the building just has a window, and it's just a drive-up coffee place. That was pretty cool. But yeah, no, nothing spooky. Yeah. I did go to the oh, remember I brought you home that really cool knife, the mother of pearl knife?
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I still have. I don't. Well, obviously still have it. Where is it though?
It's probably with all your stuff somewhere in the.
Gotta look for that. I like that knife.
Forgot
Forgot about that knife. Yeah, Anchorage is like chock full of ghosts. Like it's loaded.
Isn't Anchorage? There's also a military base there too, right?
Yes, I want to.
I mean,
because
that's why I went to Alaska, is because my friend.
You were in the military?
No, surprise. No, the friend I was visiting, her well, then boyfriend, but talking about getting they're married now, but I actually helped pick out her engagement ring while I was in Alaska. But no, so her now husband is in the Army, and there was a base in Fairbanks, and I'm pretty sure Anchorage is also home to another military base, maybe Army if I'm not mistaken, but I feel like there's probably a ton of stories there too.
There is. It's the Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson.
Sure.
And it's Air Force.
Oh, it's Air Force. Okay.
Well, it's a joint base. Oh, it's Army and Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good to know. Something happened there. There was like a UFO thing, I think, that happened. I talked about so much goddamn stuff that when I hear something, I'm like, oh, I remember that. But where the hell is it from?
You say that a lot. You're like, I have all these episodes. I've done all this research and told all these stories. And it's hard to recall.
It's hard to write. It is, because
people will ask me. Places.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, what's that like?" And I'm like, I wish I could remember what that's like. Because there's only so much space up here. There's only so much hard drive. I got to delete some things every now and again to make room.
Like where you left the knife from Alaska.
Like where I left the knife from Alaska. See, that wasn't at the time. It was like, I gotta have this, put it away, and now it gets filed, and then eventually it gets moved from the file to the recycling bin, cleared. And new stuff gets put in. And then eventually I'll find it, and then I'll have to restore. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm a computer. 4th Avenue Theater, also known as the Lathrop Building in Anchorage. Visitors claim to see the spirit of a woman when looking into the long mirrors outside the restroom, which is the scariest place to see a ghost, in my opinion.
What is it with theaters and Alaskan ghosts?
I don't know. School theaters? Theaters,
maybe dark and spooky, and when it's after hours it's quiet and they like it,
I guess. A lot of the time it's something from the area. There's a lot of tomfoolery that goes on around theaters.
I love that word,
tomfoolery, from like yesteryear, like, back in, I want to say, like, well, it's not the Wild West, no, because it's Alaska, so it's not really back in the pioneer times.
Pioneer times, that's good,
right? That's good.
Yeah.
People, would obviously get all boozed up on the Scotch whiskey and gun each other down in the place that people were like clapping. They needed some sort of entertainment, so they did things, and that is what would happen, and the ghosts would stick around. There's another school, Clark Middle School in Anchorage, is said to be haunted by another woman in white. Doesn't make any sense to me that there's so many women in white ghosts everywhere. I mean, are they women in white? And schools too. 2 in Anchorage is, what are the odds? You're playing with house money then if you made that bet. She's known for turning the lights on and off in the classroom and just appearing in the hallway. And she's
Hmm.
also found sometimes in the band room playing instruments. So,
That's spooky.
yeah, that I don't like at all. Not at all. One bit.
No, that's pretty spooky. Remember that video we just watched recently? It was a after hour school custodian
Oh,
and with the
yeah.
balloon, and the balloon was following him.
Following him in the hallways. Now, please, if you have to tell me the truth, that's not real, right? I can't hide behind my things. My face disappears.
I don't know. I can't. I know I don't have the green screen on, but
Well, I do, and it's not working apparently.
well, that's great. I don't know if that was real or not. I am an avid believer that ghosts exist, and I
Me
think
too.
it's very
I'd like to
possible.
be. Haunted Chest really thinks that there's a lot of ghosts in the world, but there's things that happen and evidence that he sees and research that he does. I don't know why I'm talking to myself about
Well, because you're talking about haunted Chest, not
Haunted
Chris.
Chest, not Chris. That's true. Haunted
Right.
Chest has a whole nother story. Is my wording behind me backwards?
No,
It's right.
no, the letters are right to
The
me.
letters are right. I can't. Okay, maybe it's just mirrored for me.
You could flip your.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm not touching anything. I spelled my name wrong. I'll end up stopping recording. That's spooky. I don't. Schools freak me out. Schools, especially like after dark. Not that I've been in many schools after dark, because that's a whole different level of creepy. There's just something about buildings like that really freak me out.
Well, children freak me out. Alive ones.
Well, yeah.
Like little
Yes.
kids. Like even sometimes our daughters laugh. It's like
Yeah, she does some creepy things sometimes.
Yeah.
Like says creepy things and just looks at you funny. Like something's going on in there. It's like, oh, what that wheel's spinning, something's happening.
Something.
So
So
something that I don't care for.
Kids just freak me out in general. So put the setting of ghosts in a place that's for children.
Don't care for it one bit. This is a weird location in Anchorage that is haunted. I mean, I guess it's not weird because it's a hotel, but it's a courtyard by Marriott. That's a modern building. Usually you don't see that. Usually it's historic kind of hotels.
Well, I was just going to say, I wonder what the history behind the land is.
Yeah. Well, this one, it says it's at this particular courtyard by Marriott in Anchorage, Alaska. It's room 201. So if you're traveling and you have a pit stop over in Anchorage and you know, it's like you got some nice Marriott card, or it's like you can always count on the Marriott, right? You got some points. And they book you in 201. Tell them, no, sir. Old Haunted Chest told me to stay away from that one.
Or if you're a thrill seeker.
Or if you're a thrill seeker, but that doesn't see. You see how it doesn't compute with me for that?
I would go and request 201.
Well, good luck.
Like that's the difference right there. Is like I'd be like, "Yep, sign me up. Let's do it."
So they said there's a couple of ghosts that wander around. 201 is said to be haunted by a man who passed away in the room.
Oh,
and he just hasn't left.
That's sad.
That's interesting. I don't know. There is a lot of stories about spirits latching on to the last place that they lived, and unfortunately, his was a Courtyard Marriott in Anchorage, Alaska. He's stacking them.
He's a platinum, super platinum, whatever the
ambassador platinum.
Oh, rest in peace. That was terrible.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
There's another ghost named Ken. I don't know how they know his name.
Oh,
but he's been seen wandering the parking lot of the Courtyard Marriott in Anchorage.
The same hotel?
The same hotel. And in the gazebo that they have. So he hasn't racked up enough points. So he's not even allowed in the building.
He's not even.
He hasn't earned the room yet.
Oh.
And people also claim to see a spectral cat wandering around the hotel.
All right. So the ghosts have some friends and some pets. They're all right.
I mean, they seem to be staying very far away from each other. Ken can't even get out of the parking lot.
That's rough.
Old buddy in 201's got it.
Got the market cornered, right?
Yeah, he's got it locked.
If
you want to stroll on down after your visit in the Courtyard Marriott in Anchorage, Alaska, and you want to do some shopping, stop by the Diamond Center shopping mall. Now, malls in general now are just about haunted because they're just empty.
Wait, it's like legit, like a mall.
Yeah, it's the Diamond Center. Well, it's a hotel,
Okay.
but it's hotel and shopping mall.
Hmm.
And they say when the Diamond Center was being built, that workers there came across small graves.
Oh,
It was later discovered that the land was once used as an ancient burial ground and dates back to when the natives first came to that land.
wow.
So they say now spirits wander the area, sometimes appearing in the hallways and bathrooms in the mall. So they pulled a poltergeist and you never remove the bodies.
Oh, God.
So that's, yeah, you find a lot of that, especially in areas like that.
You know what's crazy? It's like the typical time, like the lifetime of a grave is only something like 100 years. And then wherever you're buried or wherever, you can be moved or
Really?
whatever. And yes. So, like, your eternal resting place is not really
It's
eternal.
not.
I mean, I guess it's different if you're in like a mausoleum or something.
So
Um,
what do they do?
I don't know. I
Is
guess
it
they
is it a
excavate.
lease?
It's like a lease, yes.
But time out.
Yeah. So, well, think about it. Who's going to remember us when we're gone? Anyone further than a possible grandchild? I mean,
That's why I'm
really?
doing this. That's why this is going to live in the ether
Well, I
forever.
mean, that's true. This is a little different. But
I'm
when
going to
you
plug
really
this
think
in.
about it, like the average person, right? I mean, maybe if you're lucky enough to see great grandchildren, but that's not often.
Yeah.
Who really remembers you past your grandkids? So it's like, after 100 years, anybody who's ever known you is dead and gone. Anybody who's ever known your kids, they're dead and gone. So
Yeah.
it's like, what does that grave matter anymore? Nobody's coming to see you,
Yeah, I guess
you
that's
know?
kind of grim to think about.
Yeah. Like you are
I'm
just
just going to
dust and
stare at my own mortality.
you are a blip, and it's like that's it. Once you're gone, that's it. It's like, no, it just doesn't matter. Those
Actually,
100
I'm going to
years
have an
passed.
existential crisis now tonight.
Sorry. Drink up.
I'm drinking a pina colada, which to me, it's white and Anchorage has snow. So it's on brand.
I am drinking a Mai Tai because I just want to be somewhere tropical and not in the frozen tundra of Alaska.
No, yeah, I don't want to go there.
I would like to visit by going on an Alaskan cruise because I
Yes.
really want to see the
Yeah.
glaciers. I want to see the coastline. I went to Fairbanks. I was in the middle of the state. It was literally just like, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful. I mean, evergreen trees like I've never seen before. It's stunning. But I really want to see like the coastline and the glaciers and everything. So I
Yeah.
would love to do that. Hint, hint to my husband.
Uh,
Let's take the baby on a Disney cruise.
to Alaska, they do have those, but you gotta
They do
fly. It's
have.
so far away. I hate getting in the planes.
I know. That plane in Brazil, it just fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
That's your fear.
Yeah. That's my fear. Fucking believe it. It's my fear.
Which is why we drive to Florida all the
That's why
time.
I'm driving everywhere from now on.
Oh, I can't. But anyway, sorry, I digress. But yes.
We have another school. This one's a middle school, Hanshu Middle School, and all these places are places that can be visited. So let's keep that in mind as I'm reading these places off. I'm going to be visiting some of these locations. I might not get to Alaska right away. I'm more like New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I don't even want to go to New York because I just don't want to deal with the traffic anymore.
Which is funny because you're from New York.
From New York, I know. Henshu Middle School. It's a spirit of a young girl who was killed during the school's construction,
Oh,
which is confusing because I don't know why a young girl would be on a construction site. But listen, you don't know when it was built. So OSHA wasn't really prominent back then. And she is seen late at night or early in the morning. Two times that you normally don't see little girls running around. So that would probably be more evidence that she is a ghost.
oh.
And people have seen her either crying or shouting for help.
Oh no.
And when they approach her, she vanishes.
That poor little girl.
So that's kind of sad. Employees and guests have heard people walking up and down stairs when the hotel's empty. And some have even seen the spirit of a man near the staircase. Staff say turn on and off on their own. Young girls wandering the hallway on the second floor. The second floor is rife with activity. There's a whole string of rooms in the second floor.
Did
Most
anything significant happen, or it's
There's
just
nothing I could find about why the second floor was so prominent.
hmm.
It's like 201, 205, 215, 217. It's a whole bunch on the second floor. So do not all stay on the second floor. But they say televisions in the rooms turn on and off on their own. There's people seen walking around out there in the rooms. You hear voices, knocks on the doors. Whole bunch of stuff that no thank you. Stuff that I don't want to, like if a hotel has like thin walls,
That's true.
yeah, that's not nice for me. And
No,
if it's a
because
ghost,
you're there to relax. Here, I've never had a ghost encounter though. I don't think.
have I think when I was younger, I think
Didn't
my
you? Wasn't there a man in your house or something?
well, Charlie lived in my parents' house.
Charlie, yeah,
Yeah, there was
that's
a
a
man.
ghost
Yeah, that
encounter.
is a ghost encounter. My parents found out his name, but yeah, we used to see an old man in an old suit and a hat. And I used to catch him out of the corner of my eye, most notably in my kitchen. My parents' kitchen, the way it used to be set up is there was like, what are those little windows called? Like it was
Is that like the window cut out between the kitchen and the dining room?
the kitchen and the
That one.
dining room. They had that, yeah. And if you were in the kitchen, you would see him walk in the dining room past that
Mm,
cutout in the wall. And you'd look and it'd be, there's no one there. And you look, that way leads directly into the hallway down towards the bedrooms. You'd be alone in the house and you'd see that. It's mostly in there. Very rare would I see him downstairs.
okay.
But you never felt like any kind of like maliciousness or
No
any kind of
threat.
anything. No threat.
Just
No, he was just kind of there. And he wanted to run. I haven't asked my parents in a while if that thing, Charlie's around.
hey, how's Charlie?
Yeah, I got to ask them. Next time I talk to them, I got to see if they've seen Charlie at all.
I feel like the closest thing I've had to a ghost encounter. So nothing like that. And it's not even ghost. To me, it's more like spiritual. That one time you and I were in the car, and maybe it was a squirrel across the road or something. Somebody cut you off. Okay, yeah. So whatever it was that you had to stop
Yeah.
pretty abruptly. And you called the person a banana head.
Mm-hmm.
And you've never said that in your life, you told me.
No, never
and
before and never since.
And never since. And I stopped and I looked at you and I was like, what did you just say? You're like, I don't know. I called him a banana head. My grandfather, who is passed away for a number of years now, would call everyone a banana head. It was like his go-to thing. It's like, get out of here, you banana head. And I swear you were channeling him.
Maybe.
I feel like I've had spiritual things happen. And the morning that my grandmother passed, that night, like the night prior, I had such a vivid dream of like, I gave my grandma a call and it's just one of those dreams that felt so real. Like it wasn't anything crazy. It was like a real life event. And I remember waking up that morning being like, oh, you know what? I haven't talked to my grandma in a while. I should give her a call. And I looked at my phone and I had a voicemail from my mom and she was crying on the phone, didn't say what happened. I called her back and she told me my grandmother passed. I was like, that was my grandma saying goodbye. 100%.
I believe that.
So it's like, it's crazy. So I definitely believe there's like spiritual things in the world, but necessarily a ghost encounter I've never had.
I've gotten slapped in the face in my sleep and woken up. And I don't think it's
me.
No, I don't think it was you. It never happened in this house. It happened in my parents' house.
Oh, so maybe
But
Charlie
gave me a crack in the sleep to wake me up. But that was really it. So I've been assaulted by a ghost. Ship Creek, Anchorage.
Not to be confused with the Schitt's Creek.
The comedy show. The creek is haunted by a native woman named Marie. You don't see many native women with the name Marie from the 1800s. Yeah, but she was murdered there. Oh, she wasn't. It wasn't the 1800s. That's me reading wrong. You know how many times I'm gonna confess something right now that I get numbers all confused. Haunted Chiss gets numbers very confused, if you can believe it.
You can blame all of your mistakes on Haunted Chiss.
Haunted Chiss is really the enemy of the state. It was 1987 when she was murdered.
That's nowhere close to the 1800s.
Nope. And you know how many times I'm telling a story, and if you guys could be a fly on the wall watching me record, boy, you're in.
Sometimes I hear
the
cursing.
just cursing myself. That's why, like, I'm not afraid of like negative reviews because there's nothing anyone can say to me that I haven't said in the mirror or that I haven't said while I'm recording a podcast.
You're very self-aware.
Very self-aware. I know exactly my faults.
So it sounds like you might be a little dyslexic.
I'm a lot everyone knows. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know how so many people want to listen to this.
You got
It's
fan. I mean,
nonsense.
I'm a fan.
What was I talking about? Ship Creek? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she was murdered there. Marie, the native, was murdered there in
1987 she was
1987.
murdered.
Yeah, so it's probably pretty logical that she might have been named Marie.
Sounds about
But
right.
she's been known to warn people to get out of the area. Like she chases you away from Ship Creek. So if you find yourself in Anchorage in Ship Creek for whatever reason, I don't know what you would do there, maybe hunting or some sort of a fishing journey in a creek. There's fish in creeks.
Yeah.
So I remember my grandmother had a creek that ran behind her house, but I don't think it was deep enough for any kind of fish to live.
Freshwater fish, maybe little ones.
Maybe get bait.
Should I Google right now?
Nah, I'm really not that interested in creeks fishing. I'll never creek fish.
I feel like people creek fish around here. You can fish in creeks. Fly fishing is a big one.
Ah, you know what? That makes sense. Shows you how much I don't know.
I'm not very outdoorsy, but I feel like I
like camping. I enjoy it.
You do.
But I don't enjoy fishing. Not that anything's wrong with fishing. I'm just bad probably at it.
I've never been fishing. I've been crabbing.
The memory I have fishing. I went crabbing before. We haven't gone crabbing yet.
No.
You always say you want to go.
Every summer. I'm like, now's the time to go.
But you don't eat crab.
I don't eat shellfish or seafood. No, but I love to go. It's because it's also nostalgic for me. It was something else I would do with my grandfather. Like every summer, we'd get up at 3:30, 4 in the morning, get in the car. We'd go buy the raw chicken at the supermarket, load up the cooler, and we'd go crabbing because my grandfather and my mom ate crab. So we caught them and we would keep. So my mom,
before she was allergic.
Yes. So my mom right now, she's in her 60s. She has a shellfish allergy, severe. Like the doctor told her, don't even go past the live, lobsters and stuff that you see in the grocery store. Like
don't walk in a fish market.
Like don't go down that aisle. She didn't develop her allergy till she was 40. And it wasn't even, she was eating a salad with like popcorn chicken in it that was fried in the same oil as shrimp. And the cross-contamination got her. I'll never forget it. Her face blew up. She looked like the Elephant Man. It was like so scary. My whole like young life up until that point, which I don't know, I was I guess a freshman or sophomore in high school. I think I would eat, shrimp cocktail, cooked crab. Like she loved shellfish and we would go crabbing, bring it home. They would cook it. They would eat it. Yeah. But I just love doing it. I think it's a fun activity. You go as early in the morning. It's quiet. You catch the crabs.
Which is surprising because you don't wake up in the morning.
No,
So I'm shocked that you enjoyed that.
I did. And, my brother would go. His friend would go. Like a few of us would go with my grandfather and it was a lot of fun. I am a morning person if I have an activity to do.
That's true.
Like you see me in Disney. I'm up. I wake up every day. I'm ready to go. I shower. I do my makeup. Get up
early.
Yeah. Because I do not waste a second on vacation. But if I have an activity to do, like recently we went to Sesame Place. I was up.
Yeah,
I got myself ready before, the baby was even awake. So like if I have a planned activity, I can be a morning person because I'm just so neurotic about making sure I have everything ready to go. That's like just the planner in me. But if it's a normal day, I sleep until the baby wakes up, which is like 8:15. We have been blessed. Fortunate. She was getting like 6-hour stretches overnight, and we were like, "Oh my god, having a newborn. What's everyone complaining about? So easy." You were lucky enough to have, the 12 weeks home on paternity. Yeah. I had 6 months of maternity and she always was just a solid sleeper. She was always a healthy kid. Yeah. So yeah, I wake up with her. I'm not necessarily a morning person. but for crabbing, I was. And we should go. So that is my long-winded rant of saying
Rant
that
about that. About
and
you want to go crabbing.
it's this month. We have to go in August.
So far, you've told me that you want to go on an Alaskan cruise.
It's true.
Well, before we do that, we're going to visit the University of Alaska, another school.
Ooh. Now wait. Ghosts. I mean, I feel like people have different descriptions and encounters of ghosts, right? Like in my mind, a ghost is a transparent like figure.
Right. Which, could be like in a mist kind of form. And usually
Yeah.
those are white.
That's how
So,
I think of a ghost. So it's like,
yeah,
is everybody just in white? And we just have all these
it could
ghost
be.
stories of like the lady in white, the girl in white, whatever.
Listen, Charlie was
Or
brown. Charlie 100% was wearing a
that's
brown
true.
jacket.
You
And I
said he had a
saw him.
suit. That's true.
It was
So
very detailed. I saw, I never
mhm.
caught him full on. It was always out of the corner of my eye, but it was enough to know the colors.
Now who was Charlie?
I my
Your
parents
parents found
said
out the name,
they
but
said the guy he used to live there.
oh, okay.
Like it wasn't the people who lived there before us, but it was the people. Like I think it was the person whose house it was originally. 'Cause
Oh,
I think we were only the third family in that house,
okay.
but yeah, it was the original owner's house. I
Hmm.
think, or maybe my parents just made it up that his name was Charlie and just lied to us, which is definitely a possibility.
That's a
Parent,
possibility. Because how old
parents.
were you when you learned his name was Charlie?
Oh my god, I don't know, 13.
Yeah, so maybe they said that to just like calm you down.
Like, oh yeah, he's Charlie. He's a nice man.
Like,
They
oh
like,
yeah,
please hope he doesn't murder all our kids.
right. Like, oh yeah, oh you saw Charlie? Oh, me too. Charlie's
Yeah,
great. Like
yeah.
that's a very
Maybe that
parental
could have been a
thing.
demon. That could have been a demon. There could have been a demon in that house
Yeah, you got to ask your
trying
parents
to.
about Charlie.
Hmm, I don't want to
I
know.
never saw Charlie. I spent a lot of time at your parents' house while we were dating and stuff, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I never saw Charlie.
Well, I'm not interested to see him again.
Oh, he was nice to you. He just gave you a little slap.
Yeah, he cracked me a couple times in my sleep. That's not a nice man. You know what? Charlie wasn't a nice guy. Now that I think about it,
No,
my whole
no.
life I was convinced to think that Charlie was nice. Oh, he's harmless.
Maybe
Harmless?
he knew you
Cracked
were
me.
gonna have like a bad dream and he was waking you up
I
before you
was
had
every
said
time it was
dream.
wonderful. Dreams were
Oh,
wonderful.
all right. Well, listen, I'm just trying to vouch for Charlie here.
Yeah. Well, aside from the woman in white at Anchorage University, they also have a poltergeist, and it's a man who throws students down the stairs. So poltergeists are they're not nice people. Maybe Charlie was a poltergeist,
Oh,
and he was giving me cracks. Could be.
how much would you have loved to have been a student to be thrown down the stairs and get out of school for being hurt?
Oh,
I knew it. It's so you.
that's my dream. A poltergeist threw me down the stairs.
They'd be like, "What?
They'd be like, "This guy is crazy. Let him
Like
go
he
home."
went this far to break his leg?"
What? It's on brand. Yeah, if it would have got me out of school, I would have done anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at myself now that I didn't think about the poltergeist. Yeah, but we have one more school in Anchorage to talk about, and it's a high school, the West Anchorage High School, also known as West High School. And the school was built on what was once a dense, swampy area. And it said the restless spirits of animals and other creatures haunt the school and actually torment the students.
Well, their home got destroyed.
Right. They're a little PO'd.
Yeah.
Imagine getting chased into the building by like a ghost,
Thumper.
like deer or rabbit. Right, a real deer would scare me. I got
Yeah.
the shit scared out of me one morning leaving for work, and there was a deer standing next to my car.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I checked
We
all the
do.
cameras on the house to see if it got it, but it didn't get me.
We
I'm
do
so
have a
mad.
lot of deer come around.
Sometimes there's like 6 or 7 of them just standing like
Mhm.
in the front, right in like on our walkway. When I used to leave for work in the morning, they'd be
Used
there
to.
waiting. Used to, not anymore. Now this is my work. So please download and leave a review.
I have a question.
Sure.
Who knew that there were so many people in Anchorage to warrant all these schools?
Yeah, really. There's like 14 schools we just talked about. That's not that bad.
So lots of schools. Anyway, so back to the point. A lot of schools for
us,
one little area of Alaska, which
right,
you
Anchorage.
think is so not populated, but
I guess it makes sense. I mean, it is one of the cities. Is the
Mhm.
capital? Is Anchorage the capital of Alaska, or is Fairbanks the capital?
Oh gosh, I should know this, right?
You're the one who's been there.
I know, but I don't know everything. Oh, Juneau.
Yeah, me too. Interesting. Well, there you have it, folks.
Little
That's Anchorage.
geography
That's
lesson.
Anchorage, Alaska for you. It's teeming with rife supernatural occurrences, and the Anchorage Hotel is not the only place. So if you find yourself wanting to visit Anchorage or visit Alaska in general, and you're in the mood for a spooky happening, stay at the Anchorage Hotel and go for a little ghost tour.
You know what? I'd love if somebody could write in if they've stayed there,
Yeah, I'm curious.
or if you live there and
Or
you
if you
know
live
like
there.
more personal stories,
Yeah.
maybe. Also, have you stayed in that room 201 at the if
The
you've stayed
entire
at the
second
Marriott?
floor of the Anchorage.
I
Which
would
is
be really
interesting.
curious to hear like personal stories from either locals or maybe people who've gone there. I
Yeah.
always love to hear it like straight from sources like that.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun.
The second floor was 215, 217, 202, and 201 was the Marriott. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guests of those rooms in the Anchorage Hotel would wake up to someone standing at the foot of their bed.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I am good.
I hate when like housekeeping comes to the door.
Remember that in where were we? Georgia? We were driving to Florida and the baby was 1, right? 13 months maybe.
13 months. Yeah.
And we drove through the night. We had the whole plan. We had the dog with us. We were stopping over in Georgia, right on the border of Florida. Just so, because we were on our way to Disney World, obviously taking our daughter for our first birthday. And we got to the hotel. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. And they let us check in, which is surprising. Most check-ins are like 4 o'clock, but they were ready. We were driving all night. We were like, this is going to be great. Put the do not disturb on the door. The dog, everyone was in. We got all our stuff in. Like, it was like 40 minutes after we checked in. There's a knock on the door. And they're like, housekeeping. And I'm like, no, we're okay. And they got like nasty. They were like, could you open the door?
And the baby like had just fallen
Like
asleep
just
on me
kind of
too.
dozed off. The dog freaked the fuck out because our dog loses his mind if someone walks down the street.
If anyone's familiar, we have a corgi,
Well,
and
yeah.
he's a herding breed. So if
very,
everyone he knows isn't in one spot at all times in his vision, he freaks out. He like gets anxiety. So he barks a
loses
lot.
it. Nothing but barking. So we're like this.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm wrangling him. She's holding the baby. And I open the door and I'm like, yo, what? Like, it's do not disturb.
List of activities.
A robe, I think. Do you want a robe? What? No. Well, the front desk makes us do this.
Yeah, because you said you saw a review or something.
What are you talking about? So I checked like online and I saw the reviews and someone was like, this hotel, says it's a spa and you're supposed to get a robe when you check in, but I never got one. And like, I guess from that bad review of that, like they were like, well, now you go to every room. As soon as they check in, you give them these robes.
Which, listen,
Just fine.
In one aspect, I'm glad that hotel is reading the reviews and fixing, any potential issues and criticisms and things like that,
right.
which is great.
But if it says do not disturb on the door,
and they knew we had a dog and a baby,
right?
Because we had just checked in. There
was only 2 people in the place.
Right, it was empty because it was a relatively new hotel. It was nice. It was very clean. Like I loved it.
It was beautiful.
Hotel.
I mean, I would go there again. Absolutely.
But to be forced that way, and that's management being like, I don't care if there's a do not disturb on the door. Like you have to make sure that you get these activities. Slide the paper of the activities under the door,
or give it to me when I check in.
Or give it to do that and write a note on it. If you would like to request a robe, call the front desk. Like there's ways to do it better. That was crazy. After that, I mean, they left us alone and we were able to get some sleep, so it was okay. But
But that was wild.
But we also were on edge. We just drove from New Jersey straight through the night. So
I've been driving for
14 hours or whatever it was. Yeah.
So I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, not that has anything to do with ghosts, but thank you folks for tuning in this week to show. I guess I never said that before. I don't know why I'm saying it now. A little
You know,
different, yeah.
I'm on with you, so it's a little more
Yeah, a
cash.
little more casual, kind of conversation based, and let me know what you think of this. Megan won't be offended. I won't be offended. Like
I
I
will
said,
say though, I'm having a lot of fun. I think this is great. The baby's down. I'm having a drink. I'm having a good
yeah,
time.
good time. Well, I mean, listen, I got a lot of positive feedback on the folklore firesides when we were doing them, and I said, haunted. I've been doing the same kind of show for so long, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try and switch it up a little bit now. This is my fourth, going into my fifth year doing this show,
Mhm.
so it's like, all right, maybe it's time to evolve a little bit.
And now we're heading into spooky season,
And
so
now we're
this is
heading into
fun.
spooky season, right? So I really want
Mhm.
to ramp it up and talk about places that people can actually visit
Yeah.
in their home state or somewhere they're going to travel. So I'm going to try to get all the states done by the time I get to Halloween, which isn't ambitious, but I think we're going to go for twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, up until the month of October. Get used to this face.
Daily.
We're coming. I'm coming for you. But thank you. And yes, if you're enjoying this, let me know. Send me a comment on Spotify. Those are fantastic. And I can finally reply to them. So that's fun. Or on Apple. If you leave a review, if you're just finding the show or you're liking the way the format is going now, leave a review, please. That's the best way to support the show. It's the best way to help people find the show. And until next time, I salute you.
Nice. We got to work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Until next week.